Okay, I am back. I am going to grab some food, however. I will be right back. Welcome back. I was just putting food in. Back at the Black Wagon, after the outcome of the liberation right against the withdrawal. A dishonorable outcome. Yeah, well, let's get some rest for tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. Although you did not succeed in liberating Ruki, there is some consolation. The ride shall continue, and before long you shall have another chance. We did what we could. Each liberation right, we strive in... Oh wow, it's just gaining. A brighter future awaits at the end of our path. For now, we must preserve. Speaking of which, reader, I take it you've seen the stars, or I should say the lack thereof. You have, or did. Once more the skies is all abysmal darkness. Following the liberation rite, no stars illuminate themselves to guide your path further. And let us go once more to the moonlit alcove. I have an errand I must run besides, once we arrive. Best we recover now and make our way southward at first light. You find Sir Gilman searching intently for something or other. His eye is shut tight, his brow furrowed in deep concentration. He acknowledges your presence in the most minimal way possible, continues scanning the environment. You shall have to forgive this knight's impertinence to you, Master Reader, for he is on a hunt at this time. Using his acute sense of hearing, which is much more acute whilst underwater, but shall have to suffice in this case, shall track down the most elusive character. A character who has eluded this knight time and again, and from whom this knight seeks to learn still superior evasive skills applicable when next he conducts the rites. Hold! Is that... I have no idea whom he is referring to. Stick it up, worm. You're caught out. Could have wringed your neck just now, you know. This knight has failed again! Alas, Master Rookie, once more you have outwitted this poor knight and outmaneuvered him. Please, you must review your secret of speed and cunning. Take it easy, chum. Not half bad, yourself. Besides, I was getting pretty sick of running circles around these slowpokes before you showed up while we were at sea. Do you truly mean that, Master Rookie? But no, it cannot be. Why, this knight has nary seen anyone as daft or fleet of foot as you. Certainly, it must be advantageous to possess 4 feet, while this knight possess but 1. If it could be may be called so. And yet, we are born with necessary means, and we must all make do. Look, chum. You gotta stop being so hard on yourself already. You ever thought maybe you ought to give yourself a break once in a while? Never! This knight deserves no breaks. Not while there is honor to be gained. He is merely a worm. One of roughly 8 billion of his kind. Dear God. There's not even billions of people on the planet yet. Thus, he must strive to be remarkable and to exceed what is expected of him. Guess what, chum? You went and did that already. I thought all you Sea Dominion types were a bunch of meatheads who didn't care for nothing but a fight. You've been downright decent. Even made me break a sweat a couple times out there when I thought we might got someone quicker on his feet than me. What I'm trying to make is, it's been good having you with us. Oh, I've always said it's worth having someone quick around to keep you on your toes. For a moment you wonder if Sir Gilman is about to weep. Sensing the same, Rookie immediately changes the subject. Now come on, you want to go another round or what? There's some good hiding spots outside where I can show you how we curs get the drop on unwary passerbys. In a very honorable way. This knight would be most honored, Master Ruki. Two of them head off to to further train together. You catch notice of the Book of Rites there in the wagon. The rites, which stress trust and reliance on one's fellow exiles. The 8 scribes likely did not envision Sir Gilman and Ruki, in particular, as conductors of their sacred tradition. Yeah, perhaps their sort of kinship is what they had in mind. On mercy. Mercy is the beating heart of a truly free society. Mercy, even for the perpetrators of the darkest deeds. Oh. As our liege Sulimer drifted on an ocean of regret, he found their mercy, or rather, it found him, and it saved his life. Mercy and freedom, they are intertwined. A society must rise a clenched fist against its own. A society which raises a clenched fist against its own shall follow a doomed path of the Empire of Sur. Ours shall be a merciful society. May the perpetrators of the darkest deeds be sent to join us here, where they may learn as we have. Mercy shall engender the union among our different kind. We shall stand shoulder to shoulder, equals in the same society. Moment, I need to go deal with food. Okay, we're back. They shall not soon regroup. Interesting. Curious. Oh, wow. I done did fuck up. Ruki's enlightenment is beyond measure. Voltane. Forward. Not sure if that witch deserves mercy, Mitch. Some of the other triumvirates are led by assholes who you don't want for you, but at least they're mortal concerned assholes who can see. Become nicer, not Armageddon and creating assholes. Yeah, that's about right. I fucked up royally there. Like, I will say, the Fate, I would love to see them go free. Like, they seem like decent people. You once again find yourself amid the serene walkways of the moonlit alcove. Here you can await the time until the stars deign to shine for you again. We have returned to a place of respite. Please make yourselves comfortable, such as you can. We are at the mercy of the stars, but I expect they shall shine bright again in time. As for me, I shall return by then, for there is something I must do. There, from atop the sacred mountain, you gaze down into the abyss that is the downside. You wonder when the stars shall align themselves once more. There, upon the sacred mountain, you and companions once more await the night the stars begin to shine again. The plan of which you are all part of set in motion. In the Commonwealth, a nation that stood almost for 1,000 years is in turmoil. Your companions return there for the liberation rites. What sort of place shall they be coming back to? Many moons pass. One evening, amid a downpour with no interest whatsoever in relenting, Wolfrid requests everybody to convene. You understand he has an announcement of some sort. Soon, everyone is assembled, and Wolfrid regards the group. Everyone! There's an aspect of our plan which I've not talked about with you at length. Look around at your companions. What do you see in them? He lets the question hang a moment in the air. I'll tell you what I see in all of you, in all of us. I see in all of us the living vision of the 8 scribes themselves, each one among them hailing from the different tribes from which later formed our Commonwealth. My observation does not come from pompousness, I think. Rather, I believe the scribes themselves desired such a course. Together, we all created this ceremony of which we are now a part. The exiles liberated through their rites went on to found the Commonwealth, based on their values and their teachings. Thus, an instrumental aspect of our plan is to embody the spirit, the culture from which the Commonwealth arose so many centuries ago. That way, when we are all united at either side in solidarity, the people all shall see we reflect the values they yet cherish in their hearts, not merely our own. Anyway, we are still missing one key representative on the behalf of Molten Melith, and I happen to know a certain bog dweller who I think shall fit that part most splendidly indeed. He motions for someone to approach, and it's Big Bertha. Or Beatrude, excuse me, Bertha. A certain bog dweller slithers forward. You recognize her straight away. It is my pleasure to introduce a dear old friend of mine, whom I believe you have met. Welcome to the Nightwings, Beatrude. The bog dweller called Big Beatrude utters something guttural by way of greeting. We are to understand ye require further aid from us. Yes, dear Beatrude, the time has come. Beatrude here is far and away the most accomplished alchemist who I have ever met. You soon will find that she knows much about the rites as well. Beatrude looks at you and your fellow exiles each in turn. We frighten ye, parent. Everyone is silent as Beatrude searches their expressions. Hang on, I'm trying to understand. Then tremble, small ones, and hold well thy tongues. Does she have hair? Is that hair? Looks like hair. Also, she's got 1,000 little eyes in her sleeve, arm. Lest we remove them. She takes her leave without another word. Please excuse Beatrice's blunt manner. I guarantee she shall make more than make up for it. Everyone disperses. It seems now the ranks of the Night Wings are complete. You sense her powerful presence. Bertrude. Beertrude. Now then, my boy, perhaps you've noticed the stars are bright once more up there behind these stubborn rays, meaning it is time that we got back to business. Indeed, once more several stars shine bright within the cold, stormy sky. Ding. 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 First. She observes an unseen pattern in the stars. It seems now... 3. Got it. Right, okay, so everything is south. These guys again. Oh god. I think I want to fight her. This music and weather is perfect for... Yes, it is. So we're having another brush with Tamitha. Perhaps she'll spare me yet another moment of her time. She's here because of me, and I'm here for her. Tamitha then tells you more of your next adversary, her own blood sister. Tamitha Thane, a heart of the High-Winged Regiments, raised from birth to excel in outwitting and outmaneuvering her enemies. She seems driven by her hatred for the Commonwealth. After retreating to the mountains centuries ago, the Heart refused to join the Commonwealth, and those old tensions boiled over into raids or skirmishes, or all-out war. Flight tacticians such as Tamitha gave the High-Winged Regiments a swift and powerful military presence to this day, despite the Harp's small numbers. She once hatched an ambitious plan to overthrow the Commonwealth, breaching its defenses so our sisters could rain down untold destruction. On the darkest night of the year, she led a daring infiltration mission deep into her enemy's land. It almost worked. However, she was betrayed by someone very close to her. Someone branded a Commonwealth sympathizer, Tamitha. Tamitha was caught, clipped, and subsequently exiled as a prisoner of war. But being trapped within the downside only stoked her fury. I wound up in here not too long afterwards. Anyway, it's complicated. What happened between us? What I did for her own good, and that of all of our sisters. Though I'm beginning to doubt that Tamitha will ever see it that way. We'll see, I suppose. But for now, I best try and catch some sleep while I'm able. Pleasant dreams, then, darling. You bid a good night to Pamitha in turn. No time now to make flight preparations, though come morning the black wagon will press on. Yes, thank you for growling at me. You find big Bertrude. You find big Bertrude looking about the black wagon in a disapproving way. She fixes her gaze on you. Her expression does not change. Such a clutter added to this wagon since we last looked upon it. Unsightly. We remember thee from our abode in flying hands. Then thou must be the reading one whom Sandalwood referred. She moves in close, studying you. Recall that the mere touch of a bod crumb from the southern bars can induce paralysis, or worse. Also, I'd like to point out that that's her bone. Her hand is a bone. Her arm is a bone, even. Let's not think about that. That one such as thee can extract meaning from that tone. It was a feat we wished to witness for ourselves. Thy flesh has seen the smallest fraction of years which ours has withstood, and yet we are expected to believe that thou can't understand the Book of Rites. She then backs away, for someone else has joined you. Hail, Bertrude. Hail, Bertrude, madam. Is everything to your liking at this time, or is there something more you require? We've been unable to locate a supply of rotworm gizzard extract among thy belongings. Other than that, we shall lodge no complaint at present. It is possible that Volfrid has a small supply among his possessions here. If you would care to accompany me, we may yet procure some. And that would be agreeable with us. Then, after you, madame. As they depart, you think you see the lone minstrel nod his head your way. Light of flame. In the words of his last name, the last of his name. In these blackened nails, I do hereby inscribe the rites of flame. The bylaws shall be written here in full. We the Eight decree the rites a test of one's true worth in body, mind, and spirit. Now, until the stars abandon us, this shall be binding law within the downside. Those deemed worthy in the rites are to regain their freedom from the downside and return from whence they came. Exiles shall conduct the rites in one of 9 triumvirates, and look towards the stars for guidance on their path. Exiles shall bear this book as status. Essential structure. The essential structure of a rite shall be as follows. Where chosen by the stars within the dark of night, shall 2 triumvirates stand in opposition far enough afield, besides their consecrated pyre symbolizing their resolve. Each triumvirate, the 3 shall act as one, to demonstrate their trust in one another, not just so themselves. Triumvirates shall endeavor to extinguish the pyre of their adversary, whose flame are not only to be staunched through a celestial, orb descended from the stars. Whosever pyre remains burning shall prevail. The triumvirates are to disperse. ancient stars. We, the Eight, have seen the turning of the stars from now until the ending of our age. Heed their guidance and ours. The stars take many cyclical turns. The rites commence at their behest upon celestial landmarks where the downside greater titans fell before the heavens. Bearing this book bestowed on you, on your triumphant, you, the reader, shall perceive which star you are to congregate. Following where they land, as your adversary shall either follow where they lead, as your adversary shall. If either of you fails to appear, then neither of you walks the path. Whether you prevail or you fail, from that point the stars shall guide you on. My god, how many more of these are there? Before each rite, the rite shall not commence unless the necessary preparations are complete at the celestial landmark, ere the stars align. Exiles shall conduct the rites bearing this book, of which there are but 40 copies, each bound in astral hide. 3 times 9. Well, no, wait, 4 times 9, because the reader has to. So that why is there's one more than there should be? Because no, there's not one more. There's 4 more, right? 9 times 4 is 9 times 4 is thinking. Voice message. Mercer. Oh, bloody. Should be 40. It should be 47, shouldn't it? So there's 3 more, right? No, that doesn't seem right. 9, 8, 27, 36, right? The fucking moment. Yeah, there's 4 more books than... Because you gotta figure... There's 3 books per triumvirate. Per triumvirate. 1 per reader. So 4 per each. And of course, we've counted all of them. Withdrawn them. Oh, we didn't get an entry for... We didn't get an entry for the withdrawn. Still. Why are there 4 extra? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9? Well, then, wait a minute, what about the Beyonders? I guess the Beyonders would make up the last 4. But 40 copies, each bound in astral hide. Exiles shall wear the sacred raiments fashioned in our likeness at the summit of Mount Adadile. Their identities are to be concealed, for they shall represent us all. Exiles shall set a metal sigil for their pyre, and consecrate the ground using the words the 8 scribes gave their freedom so that we may have ours. The heavens shall respond when all is set. Law 3. During the rite, each triumvirate shall act as one, unerringly and without question. The disobedient shall suffer banishment or permanent expulsion. Exiles shall move as of a single mind to demonstrate their faith and recognize that they, as we the 8, cannot prevail alone. Their worth shall be determined both by their actions and their peers. Triumphants lacking experience in this may designate a reader whose focus on the book may help the others to coordinate. However, only those who shall conduct the right firsthand shall walk the path towards enlightenment and become eligible to regain their freedom. Burning Pyre, as at the appointed time, the aligning of the stars, the heaven shall rain down upon the ground, sufficiently prepared, and thus the two opposing pyres shall be set ablaze. Thus shall commence the rites. Triumphants are to protect their pyres as they would their lifeblood. Lifeblood itself is never to be shed before, during, or after any rite, lest the disobeyers suffer permanent expulsion. Exile is an injury enough. Rite is an act of mercy. Fear not the purifying flame. Plunge into it headlong and without fear, for you shall be protected by the stars themselves. Seek freedom in that flame. My god, how many pages are there? Raymond... Holy crap. I'm gonna read this later. I'm gonna get my food and we're gonna continue because fuck this shit. Okay, I'm already... Bertrude's deck. Unusual etched cards depicting greater tidings, probably for curses and enchantments. Surveying the nearby paths, doing minor repairs, watching skies, training ceaselessly, lost in prayer, eating his fill, chewing on something, nearby... Alright. You rise early that morning, though Bertrude is already awake. She scowls at you. And lightning claps.
Yes.
Good morning, reader. Bertrude, I trust your stay has not been uncomfortable? Nay, Salwood. The comforts of this place are not for us. Let us fly forth from here to lower ground. Let us be beyond with all this. The reader here shall do so once the group is ready. I thank you for your patience. Soaring above the Scolarian shore, you notice Pamitha gazing at the frozen cliff below. That damn place down there. I like it least of all, I think, among anywhere else we've been. I'm thankful there's no reason to return. Reminds me of my home is all. The high-ring remnants. We grew accustomed to the thinner air amid the cliffs that reached the clouds above your commonwealth. But it was not the nicest placed. Little wonder my sister settled for a rather warm base of operations in this land by the nest of Teresta. Anyway, I'm pleased to have spent as little time as possible near here. Let's fly on by and go about our business. Burp! Hey, what's a big idea, huh? Oh, it's you Nightwings. Come to rub it in again, I guess. You Templars. We've been trading flames with you for how long? So what? You got us once or twice lately. Matter of time before we can go and get you back. So you might want to keep that in mind next time you're messing with these horns, you hear me? Now get out of my sky. The forbidden cairn of Habab lies below. Not many exiles see fit to cross beyond it. Some fear that the listless remains of Six Shoulders shall snatch them up if they attempt to cross. Others simply do not want to pass through flagging hands. Few knew its true significance as we do. Although your adversaries, the Essence, should be on their way there now. Soon you shall confront them once again. You touch down at the heart of Jomer Valley, where you first face the Fate and the Dissidents. You briefly wonder where they might be now, and how they fare. You now have little time before having to set forth by land. The so-called singing is the sound of countless screeching wheel knights. Out for a walk, running the centrifuge, running around somewhere, doing some cleaning nearby, obviously. Off on his own, brushing the imps with Beatrice, brushing the imps with Pamatha. Cawing at the wheelworm. What? Wilfred is poring over a copy of the Book of Rites as you approach. He smiles at you. He looks up to you and smiles. The Road of Freedom, written in a book that hardly anyone believes exists, fewer still can read and comprehend. Sometimes I marvel how absurd all this is, my boy. Tell me something, though. I spent so much time considering the book, but know so few with whom I could discuss it in much detail. You've had some time to turn through it by now, so what do you think? Worth all the fuss? Come across more than your fair share of books, but none quite like this. It is an arcanic volume dense with lore you do not concern yourself with at this point. You delve over the book that has fascinated you, and you've never seen anything quite like it. You nod slowly as you describe your experience with it. Terrible hunter quest, Petrify and death? Jesus. Make sure you have a lot of everything done. I share the sentiment, though to have in our possession a genuine artifact from a forgotten time, how much of it is exactly true, and how much of it is the scribe's retelling of events. I find it endlessly fascinating to consider, I must admit. He puts away his copy of the book with care. It is amazing that these volumes have survived for all this time, I think. Whatever they are made of has withstood the ravaging effects of time quite well. And the ideas they remain rather provocative as well. To think the Commonwealth disavows the existence of this book, despite official recognitions of the scribe. Although the reasons why are there in there written plain. How fascinating that its secrets have been kept for all this time. Anyway, you have to excuse me for my extracurricular interest in its teachings. I used to teach a version of its history. To have access to the real thing has brought me some small pleasure. Let us be certain to reserve these volumes for whoever shall next use them. He turns his attention to other matters and bids you a good night. A good afternoon, even. Jomer Valley. The downside prairie first appears serene. It is not. The soil there accommodates only the region's brutish native vines and overbrush. The most likely food source proves poisonous. Thus we journeyed further north. The climate there grew fouler to my senses, though the Kurjoma found it amendable. And this sprawling valley, pocked with long evaporated lakes, gives evidence to the monstrosities which roam this land. We found the region's western edge to be more pleasant on whole. Therein we found sources of fresh water, whereas over on the east we found the edge of the land's most heinous decay. You take some of the afternoon to survey the area with Pamitha. You observe many curs off in the distance, driven half wild from the gate. Foolish things. This is what happens when you trust the Commonwealth. There's nothing you can do for the creatures. The sight of them makes you all too eager to return their wagon and immerse yourself in vocations. Oh God. Well, here we go. Very well then. Educate us if thou canst. You and Bertrude go over what you know of the celestial landmarks you have been to, and how their properties impact the night winds and the rites. You can tell she knows many of them well by now. Thus does our grasp of ancient sorceries grow ever stronger still. Molten Melith, dour disposition belied her unyielding determination to gain mastery in all things. Yeah. The Wild Witch would claim that for each of her successful sorceries, 10,000 others failed. To charge up time before Beatrice can use her aura blasts. Molten Melith was said to always heed her impulses, and it was they that compelled her to delve into the downside. To this day, in all the southern bog, there is no sorceress more feared or renowned than there's less. Ooh! We shall find this weakling emperor, and we shall make him burn if he does not already. Those who withstood Melith's teachings found they long kept prodding at the edges of their understanding. Hexa Victor. Many sought out Molten Melith in hopes she would give either give them blessings or else curse their enemies. She would never disclose her age, though some surmised that she had lived half a millennium or more. While slithering, Leith worked quickly, tirelessly, crafting talisman and arcane artifacts for spreading panic in the Empire. A Pharaoh curse once provided. Oh god, really? Be gone from here, lest I reduce thee to thy primordial form. Melith to Imperial Chief Investigator. These landmarks strewn about this cursed land. Too many are too dry upon the flesh. Well, before the fight I ate something that gave poison immunity, and after several stonings I put on an accessory. Yeah, death generally can't be stopped except through magic, I believe. Oh, hey guys, what bring you down here? Let me guess, the finest tales.
Great taste.
Picking this up, probably a good idea.
Great taste. What a great taste. Velotion taste.
Downside dining. What? Thyro bones. Would that we all could become musical instruments ere our bones turn to dust. Forsake from Jonah Valley. You find Pamitha by herself again, though her expression has grown darker than her custom.
Mirigare, Amita.
Leave me be with you, reader darling. Trying to get some good and proper moping done, and you're distracting me. Leave me be, reader. Leave me be, reader. Leave me be. You don't want to know what's lurking in my heart or my mind. What you'll find there isn't pretty. Yet something about her thought process is different to you now. You know that with her conditioning, she can resist your scrutiny. But now her thoughts are laid bare to you. Who is messaging me? Oh god, why am I dropping all sorts of frames? We're waiting. I need to make sure that the stream is stable. Oh my god, it's losing more. What the hell is going on? Unless... Hang on. It's dropping even more frames. What the fuck is going on? See, this is exactly why I... This is exactly why I, record. I'm waiting until it stabilizes. Deal with it. I think it's stabilized. Maybe. Possibly. Okay. I'm going to assume we're good. Alright, now here's the thing. Normally, I would not read her mind unless she openly allowed me to. But if I don't, I feel that I'm just going to miss out on stuff. But if I do, that generally is it's a fairly large breach of her trust in my ethics. However, she did lay them bare. Why? One moment. Ryan. Pamitha seems to be inviting you into her thoughts. Remain there in a lonesome space with her.
Madontra Sorshen.
What is it going to take, I wonder, Tamitha? Shall I just go ahead and kill them all? That would be proof enough, perhaps, about my loyalties to you and our sisters. Perhaps I ought to start with the one right in front of me. The bond between you severs as Pamitha opens her eyes and stares at you. Then she smiles sweetly and gives a gentle laugh.
Vastalantes.
You see, reader darling, my thoughts are rather cumbersome at times. But do not fear. I have them all very well under control. Still, thoughts being the lonesome things they are, I nonetheless cannot fully suppress them. She exhales and looks. Oh, excuse me.
God navistaten.
You know by now why I'm in this mess with all of you. You could say I lack Tamitha's sense of commitment, her zeal. She lives only to see your nation overthrown, or something worse if she could have her way. Centuries of conflict can be quite emboldening in that way, especially when one's sister's leading cause of death is Commonwealth forged steel.
Ten personate?
Wielding with one of utmost mercy, of course. Well, I had little patience for the senselessness of myself. Became a bit of pariah, I suppose. I knew Tamitha was going to get herself and the others killed someday. So when she was to fly out on this one big mission of hers, I had other arrangements made.
Tevistarum tas.
But after she was caught, your people did not exactly uphold their end of the bargain. I knew there were such risks, of course, and yet, a chance is still a chance. Tamitha was clipped and cast down. A mercy, they called it. I did not see it that way, and in my growing protests of her treatment, I was soon enough to follow. She falls silent for a while.
Belonga dames.
I haven't yet decided if I entirely regret my actions, but I do seek Tamitha's forgiveness, in which that she could see my thoughts for what they were, as it seems you can. I'm losing more frames. Why? Hey, Vinci. She might realize our nation's people have much more in common than she knows.
Ushe masatas.
Something I wonder which of them. Sometimes I wonder which one of them is stupider. She bursts past you and out the wagon for now. Perfect. Downside dinings. How to sustain oneself with food and drink in such a place as this? Sources of sustenance avail themselves to those with keener senses. In warmer climates, search the ground at break of day for sustenance. colder places, dig for them. Give them purpose. Drinking pools are rare, but moisture in abundance outside of the sandfolds. Some is poisonous. Take only what you need. The downside limits any opportunity for access, but it provides enough amenities to meet the needs of life. One who withstands it cannot help but feel a sense of gratitude. How ironic that the shattered remnants of the Bone Titan... Oh, I just got an achievement for Bookworm. Of Sack's 6 soldiers, which once stood vigilant over the archway into the flagging hands, now remains as forbidden as was that horrid monster still possess unnatural life. After Little Habab dispatched the Bone Titan in feat of ingenuity, Sax's pieces fell onto the valley floor, forming a set of standing stones which Habab marked. Further, traces of Titan's glacial blood coagulated into perfect frozen drops which still shimmer in the darkness. 6 soldiers seems to start reanimating when the stars dance above him in certain ways. Paint the sigil done in the shining light. Might do. Recently set up stuff to stream, might do. Yeah, it is actually pretty cool. I'm completely inept in it, though. The afternoon is just beginning to give way to nightfall, as you and your companions finish making preparations for the coming rite. Throughout all the ceremony, you realize Pamitha is nowhere to be found. Last anybody saw of her was shortly after the Black Wang came to rest in the cairn. She returns just as you are beginning to plan a search for her. Sorry to have worried you there, reader darling. Just getting a little angsty, that's all. Antsy. Had to go and spread my wings for a bit and shake away the nerves. She's holding something back. Ooh, don't you get in my head. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you the truth, damn it. Damn you, reader. Get out! Get out! Get out! Anyhow, it looks as if the show's about to start. I shall be in the field with the others. Pamitha departs, and you see she is right. The stars above her begin to shine. You know she is about to face her sister, Tamitha, once again. You accept that it is a very private matter between them. Oh god, we get more. What does this one do? Let's see.
Unfathomed Plurness.
Plans.
Archbeast Sungris. Endriga, the widow.
Okay, let's do stupid shit. Doing it again.
The much vaunted reader has returned, and it would appear his ranks grow stronger. Consorting with the bog-crone Bertrude, are we? How very strange that you befriended her. At any rate, your adversaries in this rite shall be the Essence. Put out their flame and walk the path to liberty.
What? What? Don't worry, I'll be fine. Trust me, I'll be fucking fine. The winged exiles of the Essence take position opposite your own companions, and the leader soon asserts herself. Who is messaging me now? Their leader soon asserts herself. Pamatha, come forth. No trickery this time. She appears as asked, though remains silent as her blood sister studies her for a time. Tamatha reaches for her mask. You look weary to me, sister. Oh? Too little sleep, I guess. I do get rather anxious sometimes on nights before one of these things. It could be a lot of pressure. Understandable. The two of them say nothing for a time. Cannot discern what they're thinking. The Highwing remnants all seem to be very mentally acute, trained as they are from birth. Soon enough, Panama cuts the tension, her tone light as ever. So, given any further thought to my proposal then? I have. And I think that now is not the time for talk. Besides your comrades there, surely you give them pause. Even now, they must be questioning your loyalty. What? But Oh, cut it with the stammering, Pamatha. It is very unbecoming, you know that. You be sure to tell those comrades of yours what you propose to me. She dons her mask once more. She rejoins the other exiles of the Essence. Pamatha hesitates before returning to your group. I told her she could take my place. That I would keep her up to date about our progress, and that she could take my place if ever it was the time for me to go. But you don't have to worry. For one thing, she refused, and for another, well, I'd better tell you later. For now, remember you can count on me. Moment.
Liberatus.
Hold a moment, reader. The crone Bertrude slithers forward, wearing the raiments of the right. Now that Bertrude is among our ranks, it would be best that you become familiar with her repertoire. You have no obligation to make use of her abilities, of course. Good, Bertrude? Please show the reader of your aptitude. We expect thou shalt be soon inclined to bring our sorceries to bear. Long have we studied the rites of thine. Let us show thee what we know of them thus far.
The bog crone Bertrude shows herself in full. Though I have to wonder what became of her accomplices. Of one accomplice in particular. You watch yourself around her, reader. None are sentenced into exile without sufficient cause.
And okay, first. Now then, reading one, know that our freedom is of little consequence to us. We side with ye because of Sandalwood, because of his plan. We shall aid ye in the rites, and we shall aid ye in the plan. Thus we are at thy disposal, and wait thy bidding. Oh God.
Now let us get started.
Oh, I can actually look at vengeful. She was remorseless and determined. Wait. She has an ashen coal. Right.
Tamitha.
Exanias.
No, not that one.
Tizo.
Oh my god! His aura is ridiculous now.
Bay. The choice is cast.
Tizo feels bad for Pamitha, but will not hesitate to give his utmost in the upcoming rite. Face us, restals of the Commonwealth, pain and loss of your defeat. This night shall reverberate not only through your hollow hearts, and in the homeland that that abandoned you.
Taște, Moritas.
Are you quite sure it has to be this way, then, sister?
Estare Yaros.
There's no compromise here, Pamitha. Not for traitors of my country or my blood.
Moleshemtes.
I understand. So be it then.
Now begin. Tamitha caught out.
Ah, piss! Come here. No, no, no. Oh.
Yes.
Excuse me, coming through.
Glory to the Night Wings, first of all. Ah. Good. Exactly by the book.
Estare, Zorja.
You seem so distracted, Pamitha. Is there something more you wish to say to me? Your words feel that I am... Oh, perhaps. Pamitha stops at this and reaches for her mask.
Vesta de smalo.
I'm sorry for what I did to you, sister.
Grate naroteras.
For what you did to me. Your apology rings as hollow as your plumage. You may rehearse it further upon every last survivor of the High Ring remnants. No more talk.
Such hatred spewing constantly from Tamitha. Yet here in exile, she has naught but talk.
Thank you, little ones. Oh, dear me. Tizo! What just happened?
Tamitha threw it in.
Well, piss. Oh, thanks, I think.
Oh,
Into the fire.
have flame.
The guilty sister. Bad birdie. Excuse me, I just need to walk
A
in
mere
here.
attempt.
Oh, piss!
Such is the fury of the High Wing remnants. Such chaos.
No.
Oof. Bay plunged into the fire. Engulfed within the order.
Maralis.
No, 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 no. Well, shit.
The flame is stricken. Begone now, Tabitha. Ho, ho, ho.
Excuse me, coming through. Bye. Excuse me. No, 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 no. Piss.
Tabitha flung the orb into the flame. Splendid. How sad for that one there.
No.
They doused the flame. None left unscathed.
Everyone's dead. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. Well, piss.
And it is done.
Dude, at least turn off the...
Essence prevailed.
Yeah,
Such
probably.
a well-conducted victory it was. Perhaps your fortune shall be better next time. Hmm?
Ma zločin proebravet.
Unimpressive, Pamitha. What good is your offer to show me favor in the liberation rite if I could just as well prevail against your comrades on my
Sima
own?
quagre?
Will be different then, though I suppose you won't reconsider.
Sande varidas.
You know I cannot. You are always obstinate, but in that regard, all others which count for anything, you are inferior to me. Remember that.
Creo de seras.
What you offered is meaningless to me. I shall free myself without your help or that of anyone. Now. Now then, farewell.
Kir setere.
Wait, what of your comrades the Essence? You must need them at least.
Tenarum dirge.
Mince my words as ever, Pamitha. You know I do love you. In a way. Is that what you wish to hear?
Kire se hista.
Hello, game? But my purpose is plain, and you stand in the way. You are a fool to think my freedom is a goal. Is my goal. My freedom is a means towards an end which, like you, never would abide.
Harete ma prolet.
You think you could sway me from my purpose, Pamitha? Pamitha remained silent for a time.
Concilia.
No, I don't think you would struggle to destroy the Commonwealth, no matter what it takes. No matter if, in doing so, you are destroyed instead.
Merove kramta.
Just so. So then, you understand me after all. Pamitha does not turn to watch her blood sister depart.
Boundless are the teachings of the scribes.
I'm an idiot, okay? Just do.
Until the stars align.
Well, I've gotta restart the stream anyway. After falling to the essence in your latest rite, you return to the wagon to find Wolfried and Lone Minstrel in the midst of a conversation. Most strange that this one star should be illuminated now. It is not what I expected. Nor I, Wolfried, sir. Then Wolfried notices you there. Reader, Targ and I have observed a strange occurrence in the sky is all. It appears that the star of Kalmir Ropecaller is illuminated now. Not by force, but by heat. It is but another star, except our models and predictions of the cosmos did not anticipate this. Anyway, go see for yourself. I shall make the red wagon ready in the meantime. Okay, I'm going to restart the stream.